Hi everyone. Wow, what a most amazing, auspicious, and glorious time we're in. Uh, this live is titled Mixed Bag of Ascension Upgrades and Updates. So it's very important. Of course, everything is important. However, I have quite a list to go through of what I will share with you, and it will not be, let's say, as in depth or extensive because of several things. Nevertheless, I will go through the points and give some information. Um, yeah, first off, what I wish to say is that Femke and I are here in Romania. Um, we are utmost grateful for all of your continuing financial support and other support, and very grateful for that as we go forward. It's quite possible we may be here uh, until November in Romania, and what has occurred from Father Prime Creator and my connection to Father. Um, Perhaps a few weeks ago, I was given that it's very possible that the planetary ascension will be completed in November of this year. And um, let me say, a few weeks after I was given that information, then Father come in to be more specific with a tentative possible completion date of November 15th this year. Now, one thing I wish to say, it's a tentative date. However, it's very important to know that it's indicative of all of our divine light accomplishments upon the planet and where we are at this current time. So this is really very great news. And of course, upon that timeline being met in November, it also implies that GPMS.world, the replacement system for the world, will be implemented possibly at that time. So this is very great news for all that knows about www.gpms.world and its direct connection to the Ascension. So, having said this, this is very, very good news, and of course, it's not ascertained fully yet in this reality. But what I need to say, for Father to give an actual date, um, I believe it's very, 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 very possible. So that's great news with that. So, where do we go between now and November? Well, what is divinely given is that each is responsible for your own sustenance until then, and you do what you need to do to honestly survive with your integrity intact. And it's very important not to project with your thoughts and your consciousness any timeline that is connected to what we would call the matrix, a career oriented, that is matrix, a job or where you're going to be living, that can also be matrix. You need to keep yourself more so in the now moment and just have as few options going forward as possible, and you just want the closest options to you and follow them as you go forward. Um, for example, it's very possible you may think you'll be living somewhere else in 2 months' time, and that may not be the case at all. because you are divine. And again, the divine overrides what the logical consciousness, thinking, and preparation and navigation would be. So it's important to keep yourself as flexible and versatile and open to the divine guidance and divine prompts. And when I say divine guidance and divine prompts, um, perhaps, in 2 months you think you're going there, but what occurs is something magically comes up and suggests that maybe you go here for a month. It's important that you follow these prompts without expectation and without restriction and limitation. So again, these are so important to understand how divinity works, because you need to understand that you're transitioning the human logic into a navigating divine tool. And with that, the divine, and if you wish to say your future self, your higher self, knows where you need to be divinely placed in the future. And to decrease any conflict between the human logic consciousness and your divine consciousness, it's better not to plan and not to restrict your individual timeline trajectories. Overall, what we are doing with this divine ascension for the planet is that it takes all coming together and oriented with that one divine ascending timeline that does it for all. So you don't wish to be distracted nor deviated from the highest outcome timeline. You don't wish to be putting your consciousness, your energy into things that are imploding, deteriorating, and parts of the matrix that are not going to exist up here. Because if you keep energizing them here, you are not only prolonging the overall ascension for yourself, but also there is that degree of prolonging it for all as well. So you need to use your utmost divine discernment at where you are putting your energetics towards. And again, with this, so that we lift all boats, it's better that we all put that energetic alignment with the highest timeline, so that we also can, get this mission completed sooner. So it seems at this time for Father to give that important date that uh, most, or at least enough, of the light quotient is now in alignment to succeed for that date, which is very beautiful, and I'm very happy and grateful for this. And of course, as we continue forward, it is being more substantiated every moment. Everything is energetics, including creation. And by doing your inner work and knowing your divine prowess and the reason why you're here, then you are, let's say, bestowed in this reality with more co-creational ability and control over reality, but not a control the way the logical mind would think, meaning that you don't manifest money for yourself. These are fear, control, um, uh, emotions, and actions. You come to know that it's not about you, that it's about the planetary ascension, and that you're perfectly fine, if you will. So, having said all of this again, it's important what you put your energetics towards. And the old capitalistic system and structure is imploding very rapidly, but simultaneously we are energizing and co-creating the new world, which is the GPMS.world, which is the divine plan. It is the ascent. Physical upgrades have been to the degree that more of you are, let's say, having crystals come out of your body, carbon, sand, silicon crystals, if you will. So these are different areas of your vessel that is being upgraded to crystalline. And during this process, areas that have been upgraded substantially, you'll have crystals come from those areas, while other areas that were still more silicon and carbon based, then as they begin to transition, you'll have more of the sand granules and the silicon come out first as you upgrade to crystal. But it's not occurring to all of your body in the past at once. You'd have certain parts of your body that would be physical vessel that'd be upgraded to substantial enough of the crystalline component and process, and then you would have other areas that were not on your physical vessel. But nevertheless, overall, the physical vessels are upgrading, and the Ascension symptoms that accompany this is rashes, boils, what feels like insect bites, intense heat as well, as the process goes more into a crystalline process. What your body is actually doing when it's feeling the heat, it is very rapidly transitioning the carbon silicon base into crystalline. And to keep it simple for ones to understand, the way that diamonds are formed is through extreme heat. So it's not unlike what is occurring with your physical vessel, as you could imagine. So as your physical vessel upgrades to more crystalline, it has hot flashes, if you will, and extreme heat, and also skin abrasions and rashes. These are common things with you as you upgrade. So this has been undergoing with the physical part of your vessel. Also with that, I wish for ones of you to keep an eye on your forehead. I don't know if you can readily see it, but on mine, let's see, this way, you'll see a V diamond shape there, but you can't see it. It's white. It's white when I look in the mirror, and it's in the upper third eye area. And what I suggest is for ones of you to keep an eye on that area for luminescence in the lease of it illuminating and anything else. And please share it whenever I put out a post or whatever so we can share it with all. This because again it's important, and it's always important to share. Um, so getting back to energetically as well, very importantly, what was put in motion divinely a few weeks or so ago was the clearing of the sacral area, and typically that's around, just right around your belly button, just a little bit below, and perhaps a little bit above. Each one's a little bit different, but that's the general area. The sacral is being cleansed. And what this just simply means is that all of the lower restrictive fear beliefs that were attached to the matrix and the lower reality, that is being reconciled and cleared. And what it does, it then, once one's come into um, once they have cleared enough of this, it gets reflected in your operating consciousness. Your perspective changes, and you're able to discern more readily, more quickly, and your conscious awareness raises as well. And it contains the raising of the consciousness contains many things. Your ability to see what others cannot see, physically, visibly, and also with your consciousness, as well as begin to witness more of the profound and miraculous signs and your gifts as well that is connected with this. Your heightened telepathy is just one, but there are all of the list of the parapsychological ESP gifts, if you will, extrasensory perceptions. So it's very important. The smell again, all of your human senses are being elevated. Plus, you're given more of, let's say, the sixth sense, which gives you many more, a whole new level of senses. And we don't wish to restrict that by um, saying that there's only two or three. It's actually unlimited to what the individual can exist or can access and what they cannot right at this time. But as we continue forward, more of that opens up for each and every one of you. And again, these things, what I speak about is not, it's not speculation, it's not conjecture. These things I speak about are actually confirmed by many of you. So this is a knowing. It's not an illusion or a fantasy, if you will, that's being created. This is factual, real, divine things that are occurring, especially with what we call the vanguard ground crew upon Earth at this time. All of these are going through these upgrades, having these experiences, and of course the ascension symptoms. So it is all very real. So energetically, all of you are being upgraded as well. And through the reconciliation of your belief systems, limited, restrictive beliefs are being replaced more with a higher perspective and the higher beliefs. And what this is doing is unlocking from the seat of your soul, your heart space. It's unlocking more of your knowing, more of your divine intuitive abilities as well, which places it up in your operating consciousness as a no doubt, no questioning guidance that you're able to operate and discern much more efficiently as we progress forward. And all for good reason. For your co-creator abilities, it has to be purified here, which includes your actions, your reactions outwards to others. So you have to embody the purity, the virtues, the core values that are aligned with that, so that you progress further forward into your divine conscious knowing and more of the reasons why you are here. So you unlock that for yourself. And of course, it involves the mastery of the entire fear spectrum. So you don't wish to, frustration is a fear. It's got to go. Any of these things, impatience is a fear. So you work on these things, and the more of these little fears that you let go of, that you master, they're replaced with trust, with definition. They're placed with when I say definition, with definite, incontestable knowing that you don't question it anymore. But you got to get these obstacles of fear out of the way, because these are what distracts and distorts your conscious thinking in your energetic field. So it's important that you need to do this work. And this work, what I speak of, is not for all. You can say that not the case. We would not be here doing what we're doing. Everyone would just evolve organically if there was no reason for any purveyors of knowledge to the levels of consciousness. But there is, and that is a fact that is still here. And we always do our best to deliver as freely I do, which I do, all of the knowledge and all of the updates, what we get. And this thing is not about commercializing what we do. It's not for individual gain or individual profit off another. That is not the new world. That belongs to the old world. And this is why, I say and I suggest for all that are genuinely assisting ones with healing and knowledge to do it on a donation basis, because the real fact is that most of the divine ones that need the assistance, they cannot afford to pay for it. And we are here, the 90% upon the planet, to raise them up. And we wish to give them all of the knowledge and all the tools to do so. And if one begins to commercialize and profit off another's pain, that is not in alignment, full alignment with the Ascension. Many will argue it's an energetic exchange. No, none of that. No, that is not being genuine. You need to stop and think what you're saying and look right at the core of it. You are actually profiting off another's pain intentionally. You are making a business. You are commercializing off another. And you don't wish to be doing this. We are here to share and assist each other together the way it will be in this new world. There is no profiting in this new world off another's pain. It's all compassion, caring, sharing, and love. So, what I suggest for any that may be watching this, to do your own individual review on what you are doing in this respect. And I need not say more on that. What I'll do now is I go and have a look at my next point. I got my phone out there so I can see what I got wrote down. Um, so we got into what I'll say here, the twin flames. I'll keep this simple. Once again, the twin flames are given the green light to go ahead to advance your energetics and everything that you are working on, as not only as the couples that are united, but also the individuals are strongly encouraged to take the steps towards the union. We need movement. You cannot just sit and wait. That is not fully divinely how it works in most cases. You have to take a step towards it and test the waters, because again, the stage is now very ripe for this, and it is also time to put out more of the higher love into the collective consciousness, the part of it that can receive that, and to get it generated and rippled outward. So, to each individual or couple's divine guidance, that is encouraged. It is divinely supported at this time. Now, having said this, also what is more readily available is the Archangel Raphael healing energy. So, this Archangel Raphael energy is available now more widespread than any time before. So it is again very important that ones know that you do have access to this assistance, and this will be most readily identified in the form of a green color. Usually, a pale or a more flat green color is a good recognition of this confirmation when you request this assistance from the energy of Archangel Raphael of the light. So it's important to, with whatever of the angelic and archangelic realms, it's always important to add with any of your invocations on the end of that. For example, Archangel Michael of the light. And for reasons that I won't get into, but it's always important to say this of the benevolent light or benevolent Archangel Michael, what have you. You always wish to specify and speak it out loud in any of your invocations to also then it only energizes that aspect and you don't get any distortions or interference. So as a co-creator, all of your words add to creation, its vibration. All of creation is frequency and vibration. So it's easy to know how this makes absolute sense. I'll, I'll consult my notes once again, if you will. Yeah, so sacral, yeah, the lower belief systems are being eradicated very quickly as we transition forward. Um, what I need to also touch on is the metaphysics and omniphysics of eliminating the root cause of the energetics. Um, Let me reword that. I'll shut my phone off. So, what I need to speak about is ones need to know that, to keep it very simply, the current worldwide system is the cause of all of the negative fear based energy. So, if you're a healer assisting ones, you'll constantly have clientele as long as the old system remains intact. Now, what I just said, the reasoning why is because the system is causing the great pain. And when you look at energetically, um, and I like to use myself as an example when I was healing, and I mostly heal through the consciousness, but through the voice as well, and individually. When it was time for GPMS.world, Father came and said I was assisting ones individually, and Father said, Rick, it's time for GPMS. You'll be 1 billion years assisting ones individually. We have to do the one energetic creation thing that eradicates the problem of all of this negativity. It eradicates the source of the negativity and the fear. And by doing this organically, the entire uh, planet is that is ascending are healed organically. So it's important for all healers, spiritual teachers, ascension guides, what have you, to know the important basics of metaphysics, that everything is energy, but you can't just keep um, fixing someone up for an hour, if you will, or a day, while the source is still out there, because they become reinfected. So you keep yourself in a looping scenario. So you need to be, at least know what I am saying, that it is a waste of time to continue to do this. And you need to know what GPMS.world is as an energetic creational vehicle that takes everyone that is a child of God, a part of Source, if you will, into the place where no one needs to be healed. So we need all of you in alignment with this and this simple knowledge. Instead of healing 100 a year or 100 in a month, you need to put your focus on the bigger things that assisting healing the entire planet within a month or two. So your efforts are better aligned in this respect by just knowing the simplistic um, basics of metaphysics and how energy, how pain, and how bliss works. And it's not that difficult, as I just said. So raise the vibration, but you need the energetic environment that is clean. So you need to take out of the energetic environment the root cause of all of this fear, distortion, and negativity, and that is the system. So we don't need to put our hands physically on it to destruct it. We destruct it by uniting together with all of the knowledge and creating this replacement system, the new world. And then we don't need to contend with any particles of that old. We are conscious co-creators that are here to create the new world, to transition our brothers and sisters physically up into this new world. So it's not so difficult. So with this, I'll look at my next point. What I have here, yeah, went through that. Yeah, profiting off another's pain is not compassion, as we know. Um, we'll go now to the floodings that are occurring in many places around the world, if you will, and also, that's been ongoing at different regions and areas. One of the reasons why, and again, without rambling on with a book, these floods are showing at least humanity very important things, how things have to change upon the planet, but also knowing that there is something else that is really occurring in these unprecedented times. So they serve a very important divine purpose. And, what I will say with the story about Noah and after the great flood, the rainbow was the covenant, the promise from God that he would not flood the entire planet again. And let me say, Father Prime Creator is true to his word, and he is not doing that now, but he is allowing for flooding in certain areas. For ones to pay heed, pay attention to what going on. So there is the divine reasons for this. And what I can further add, we have a divine team that's been working divinely. We're divine specialists to this effect, and we are powerful uh, co-creators that have access to the creator codes to do what is divinely necessary. So having said this, yes, there would have been a huge flood long before now, and in the past where the water comes from, if you will, from the firmament or the vast ocean in space, but also it comes from inside of Gaia, inside of the Earth herself. And if any of you um, would like to do a little bit of documented research, look for it. You will see where the water in places has been, coming up through the ground a little bit, letting you know that in areas the water table is oversaturated and has risen. And we keep this at bay. There is no catastrophic ending. And again, the apocalypse is the beginning of the new. It's not catastrophic. However, the warnings are here with us for all to pay heed, if you will. What else do I got here? Yeah, so with the recent Anna cold front, that was a very good exercise. And again, with this, it's a test on the co-creator's ability and conscious ability. What I need to say, all weather forecasters, meteorologists, would not be able to be as accurate with the weather if the general public did not believe it. So, what I am saying here is that, we don't, as co creators, if we're in a country that's very warm, we can lower the temperature consciously. We don't need any primitive 4D technology like HARP and all, again, are definite. And, if you're watching, you're part of a group that you have been tested as a group on my timeline to your co-creation abilities, where one miraculous time with Hurricane Irma, against all odds that had the meteorologists not knowing how it occurred, we took Irma from a hurricane, I think it was Irma, from a Hurricane 5 against all scientific odds down to a Category 4. And we did that overnight. And that was documented by the meteorologists saying something just occurred that defies everything we knew. But it was because of us. Then we were given by Father to abort. And as soon as we abort that conscious creation onto that hurricane, it went back up to a Category 5. And because it was meant to serve a very important purpose. So, nevertheless, that is one example. And for all of you that are perhaps here, but to share with those of you that are new, we have brought rain to Australia when it was needed, when we were called in to India, to Canada, to the US, and also did other very unique divine creational exercises and um, activations that also facilitated at diminishing climatic environmental effects that were, let's say, somewhat nefariously caused as well. So it was kept minimal, the effects of that. And of course, one of our infamous, what I loved when we were activating the white light 5D ley line nodule with the Christ the Redeemer Hill in Brazil at the moment of our active, well, let's say an hour or perhaps around the same time of our activation, where we were bringing in the white light to activate the hill that Christ the Redeemer is on, the statue. The lightning bolt come down and hit the head, but didn't hurt it. But I mean, a very important indication of all of our prowess combined together. So we don't need to brag, and that's not what this is about. It's to share with others and to share and remind you of your divine co-creator prowess and what we can actually do in good ways. So, I speak, I wanted to reiterate this. I speak what I speak about in the most common language, in the easiest way for ones to understand what I'm saying. And because, again, the languages with so many complicated words, and where it ventures into the legalese, if you will, that is all meant for complexity and meant to confuse. And for us, we keep things simple, divine, and straight to the point, and as open as we can be. When I say as open as we can be, what I mean by that is sometimes that I may uh, say things that you don't know what I'm speaking about, but eventually in the future you will. So there are times that it tries to be translated in more of a way that you can easily accept and know what I'm saying. So, that was quite a mixed bag, and I think I'm through that mostly. Is there any questions? I don't see in the comments section, I don't see any questions. Looks like there's about 9 viewers, but if you have any questions, you can put them in now. I'll wait for a moment. Thank you. Well, looking like one of two things. Either divinely there is no questions, which is great, and that indicates it's time to end this. But either way, everything is divine. So, in a closing statement, what I wish to say is love, light, and gratitude, peace, and harmony to you all, and definitely check out GPMS.world official if you don't know about it, and it's important that all worldwide become a part of this as soon as possible so we complete this mission. And it is imminent, it is inevitable. So have a great night with that, and big love to you all.